You know that feeling when life suddenly shifts and it feels like the ground has been pulled right out from underneath you? It's not just change, it's that uncertainty that hits the hardest. And when uncertainty shows up, it almost feels like a personal attack. Like the universe is saying, "You thought you had this whole thing figured out, didn't you? Think again." But today, I want to break down exactly why uncertainty feels so heavy, why it triggers us so deeply, and how you can actually start to see it as the storm before the calm. Stick with me here, because by the end of this episode, you're going to look at uncertainty in a whole new way. So let's get into it. Welcome. For everybody new here, I'm John Adams, and let me start with a story that you all probably know. In 1986, Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, he was fired from the very company that he actually created. Think about that. The company that you've poured your entire life into, gone. Your identity, your work, your purpose, all ripped out from underneath you. Jobs later said in his autobiography that it was devastating, that he felt publicly humiliated. In his own words, he felt like a very public failure. That's what uncertainty does. It doesn't change your circumstances. It shakes who you think you are. Okay, I know we're not all Steve Jobs, and we're not being fired from Apple, but the feeling, it's identically the same. Waiting on medical results, a career shift that you didn't ask for, a relationship that suddenly is falling apart, a world that feels like it's spinning so fast that you can't keep up with it. That pit in your stomach, that's not weakness. That's your brain reacting exactly the way it's wired to react. That's what's happening behind the scene. Your brain loves patterns. It thrives on knowing what's next. When your future looks blurry, your brain rings every alarm bell that it has. Your body and your brain's survival instincts all start to kick in. Thousands of years ago, uncertainty could mean danger, a predator in the bushes, a storm on the horizon. That wiring, it hasn't gone away. It's been bred into us over thousands of years. We try all the time to convince ourselves that we're in control. But uncertainty, it rips that illusion away within the blink of an eye. That's why it feels so personal. You begin to feel anxious, restless, or even paralyzed when life gets unpredictable. Just remember what I say almost every single episode. You're not broken. You're just human. But here's the part that flips the script. Remember Steve Jobs. After Apple kicked him out, he could have quit. He could have stayed in that storm and let it define him. But instead, he used that storm to grow. He founded a company called Next. Then he bought Pixar, and he helped make it become the massive powerhouse that it is today. Both of those ventures would later feed right back into Apple's rebirth. When he returned to Apple in 1997, he came back with fresh vision. That uncertainty, that storm that almost broke him, prepared him for the greatest chapter in his life. Uncertainty, it does the exact same thing in our lives. Think about storms in nature. They're messy, they're loud, they're unsettling. But storms, they're meant to clear the air. They shift the atmosphere, and they bring growth. That career change that you didn't see coming, it could be the path to something more enlightening for you. Those health scares, they force us to reevaluate our priorities, and we build better habits along the way. That unexpected disruption, it reveals strengths that you didn't know you had. Discomfort, it's often the catalyst for growth. And when you stop seeing uncertainty as punishment, and you start to see it as preparation, you take its power away. So here's what I hope you take away from all of this. Uncertainty feels heavy because your brain is wired for safety, not for growth. But if you let yourself reframe it, that same discomfort can become the very thing that prepares you for your next breakthrough. This is the storm before the calm. And if you lean into it instead of running away from it, you're gonna find that calm, is way stronger than the storm ever was. Next episode, we're going to go even deeper. We're going to discuss how to find that inner anchor, the part of you that stays steady when everything around you feels shaky. Because storms, they're guaranteed, they're going to keep coming. But how you stand in them is completely up to you. So make sure you subscribe and follow so you don't miss a piece of this series. And as always, stay healthy, stay balanced, and keep driving forward. I'll see you next time.